Hello firearms friends, we're back to show you another one of the collectible genres in our October 4th, 5th, and 6th Sporting Collector Firearms Auction. By the way, there's a full day preview, October 3rd, the day before, where you can come in and handle guns like this. That damned Yankee rifle you could load on Sunday and shoot all week. We're of course talking about Henry rifles today. Henry rifles are supremely collectible. They are definitely always going to be featured in our premier firearms auctions. People want them, not only for their own place in history, but because of their place in the Winchester story. They are just fantastic. Well, as you notice, these aren't in our premier firearms auctions. These aren't the super pristine world-class versions, but they're a heck of a way to put one in your collection for a great price point. And we're going to show you at least 6 of them that collectors kind of keep their eyes out for. So let's get started. The front one, of course, if you can't tell the size difference already, is not a Henry rifle. This is a Volcanic carbine, but it is from New Haven Arms. So when Volcanic reformed in 1857 to New Haven Arms, they were still producing Volcanic. So most people think of New Haven Arms as like the Henry from 1860 to 61 to 66, and that's it. And after 66, it became Winchester. Well, no. As New Haven Arms, they were still working with those Volcanic cartridges and the Volcanic arms. So from 1857 to 1860, they're producing little carbines like this, 1,000 of them to be specific. This one has the 25-inch barrel. It's the rarest barrel length. So if you're looking to get into Henrys and start this Henry collection, the Volcanics are, of course, the predecessor and an important part of that story. In the middle, we got a doozy. This is a Henry, and of course anybody'd be wanting to collect a factory engraved Henry rifle. And here we have just one. This is, of course, Samuel Hogson. So anytime you hear Hogson engraved, that's the New Haven Arms factory engraver. And this is a classic Hogson pattern. The scroll work, you have the flowers up here on the forend, or the forward part of the receiver. Of course, even on the top, on our left side here, we have, a pointer, on point here on the left side of the receiver, surrounded by this foliage and scroll work. And Hogson's impressive. Here's your chance to pick one up for far less than you would find one in our premier auctions. And last, at least for this set, one on the back. Now, Civil War rifles and carbines often have their owners' names inscribed on them. If you were watching our last video on Civil War carbines, you were paying attention, there was a couple monograms carved real big into the buttstocks. And you see that with Henrys as well. Whether it's an inscription on a side plate, whether it's a presentation inscription, it could be done during the war so that you know which rifle is yours and someone else doesn't walk off with it. It could be done after the war to kind of commemorate you and your unit and your service and things like that. This one is unique. Let me say, first of all, this is an early serial number. This is 2770. So early part of production, this Henry rifle has undoubtedly seen some things. It's fantastic, but we have a stamped owner's name. Now that's unusual, and we have it here on the right barrel flat, this Chas R. Nagel, so Charles R. Nagel, and the name is stamped right here. This one's also, we can tell it's early enough to have seen service through the Civil War, but also afterwards, because if we open this bolt and action, we can actually see it's been converted away from its 44 Henry rimfire to a centerfire cartridge. So not only do we have the stamped name, but also the centerfire conversion. So, I mean, if you like the innovation that the Civil War era provides, and some of those transitional pieces, whether it's black powder to cartridge, rimfire to centerfire, it's a neat piece of Civil War history. Let's gently transition. We'll take a look at another 3 Henry rifles coming up in the October Sporting Collector Auction. All right, our next batch of 3 Henrys on the table, and they just keep getting cooler. In the back, late war production, like 1866, standard commercial Henry. So if you're looking for one that's not, inscribed or with a date or factory engraved, you could start with the commercial Henry, and there would be nothing wrong with that to have one of those in your collection. Again, this is late production, and that's another way that Henry rifle collectors differentiate. Do you want early production? Do you want late production? And all the things that entails for whether it saw service. In front, you have quite an early production model. That is serial number 3539. and it is martially inspected. Now that's another genre that Henry collectors love. Most of these were bought commercially to see service, so the ones that actually did receive a US contract, far and few between. Of course, it has the inspector marks here on the left and right. It has Henry has stamped it right and left. Charles G. Chapman, the CGC inspector stamp, also graces this one. So if you're looking for whether it's commercial, whether it's martially inspected, they got you covered. Also, this one is 9 serial digits away from, I believe, Company F of the 97th Illinois Infantry. So if you're looking for the serial number where it might have served, 9 serial numbers away from a known identified one might be a pretty good place to start your research. Last but not least, it's got kind of a coating on it. Someone put on it to protect it. Early serial number 2920. So the likelihood that it saw service, that this Henry saw service, is pretty strong. But we have just a really neat inscription on the right-hand side plate. This one is inscribed to W.R. Minor, Company D, 57th Indiana. And that's really cool. It's a well-done inscription, and it varies, like I said, from ornate and done after the fact to those done in the field and carvings in stock. Like, the inscriptions run the gamut to identify these rifles. This one's pretty beautiful, and the more you hold it in your hands, the more you wonder who W.R. Minor was, where he was, where did he walk holding this rifle? Who did he fire it at in anger, in defense of the Union? Just a really neat thing to do. And when you hold something and to look at it like that, that's something that can only be done during our preview day. And of course, that happens the day before the auction. And you've got to come. If you haven't come to a preview day yet, it's the best gun show you've never been to. This is the chance to see a Civil War inscription. This is your chance to see what makes it a centerfire conversion from a rimfire, why a Henry is so heavy compared to a volcanic. And those are just the guns in this video, let alone the thousands of others that are going to be available during our October Sporting and Collector Firearms Auction. Can't encourage you enough to come. If you can't, you can still place bids on rockislandauction.com. And until our next genre-specific video, friends, keep your powder dry.